Welcome back to Bay Area Breakdown. I'm Thomas. I'm here with my co-host.
Justin Kim.
Today we're going to talk about the games that happened over the last week, and we're going to dive into some Warriors news. So we can get started. The first game that happened was the Knicks game, where the Warriors won 110 to 99. In this game, Curry started off hot with 8 rebounds in the first quarter. Kuminga had a great game. Clay had 16 off the bench, and CP came in with 11. Do you have any takeaways from this game?
So they started off very good defensively and offensively in the first 5 minutes, and I feel like we should keep playing like that consistently.
Yeah, Warriors had a really good start. I think it was like a 14-0 run at the beginning of the game. Um, I didn't like how they didn't take off. We kind of let them stay in the game a little bit, a couple of fake runs, and the final score was a 10-point game, 11-point game. But throughout the game, there's periods where there were like 20-point lead, and you thought, this could be the time when the starters get some rest
Yeah,
because
like a blowout.
yeah, you want to give them a blowout because like there's some tough games coming up, especially on the road. But I liked how we played at the Garden, and I liked how we came out strong and we didn't like give up the lead.
Yeah, but like what you said, also 11 point game. I feel like 11 point game was too close for the game.
hmm Especially how we started off.
Yeah, it should have been like a 20 point game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second game on the slate. So Warriors with the 120 to 105 win against the Raptors going into Toronto. I didn't catch this one live, but looking from the final score, I think, it was a pretty good game, pretty comfortable win. Maybe you want another bigger game, 15 points. You maybe want a 25 point win, but I think 15 points, especially like on the road on a back-to-back, I think you're pretty happy with.
Yeah, it was a game we like kind of struggled on like the first half, but then like the second half we got what comfortable with it.
Yeah, this was a back-to-back game, so I'm not surprised that they came out a little bit slower. I'm just glad we were to get the win here.
Yeah.
And then the biggest game and the biggest disappointment, the Celtics game. So on a Sunday, we went to Boston Garden and we got blown out by 50 points. This game we were down by 60 at some point and just a really bad showing. Starters didn't even play in the second half. Some game plan issues that we can get into right now.
hmm Okay, so like I didn't like the defensive mindset. Like our mindset was just leaving Jalen Brown like wide open, like kind of like resting back on him. He's an all-star player, so like if he has chance to shoot it, he's gonna make it, of course.
Yeah. I didn't understand the strategy either, but I'm sure Steve Kerr had a reason to why he decided to sag off of Jalen Brown. I personally think, we have enough defenders. We have Kuminga, who's a strong defender. We have Draymond, obviously, who's good. Clay, he's not like prime Clay, but he's still a good defender. I think
Yeah,
like leaving an all-star, especially when they were missing Porzingis, leaving an all-star to shoot, like this isn't one of those guys where it's a big man where he doesn't want to shoot. I'm
like
sure Jalen
Giannis.
Brown, yeah, like Giannis. Like Giannis is a guy you can leave off of because you're scared of how he's going to drive.
Mhm.
But with Jalen Brown, I'm sure if you let him shoot like every possession down, he'd be comfortable shooting, and I'm sure he's gonna make you pay.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Giannis, big game tonight. Bucks coming to Golden State. Bucks are 2 seed, 3 seed in the East right now. And I'm sure, Dame and Steph's gonna put on a show. Giannis, I think he's gonna be back. Giannis is gonna have a pretty big game, especially with like how undersized we are.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. How do you think we pull this one out?
I think this one we we are gonna be able to win, and I feel Steph Curry's gonna have a big game. I feel Curry will have at least 30 today. Yeah.
I think we need to rebound, especially with Giannis and Brook down there. We need to be
Yeah.
able to, especially the guard. The guard's got to come in and rebound. Steph's got to have a big rebounding game. Pajemski's got to have a big rebounding game. Dre's got to box out. Kuminga's got to buy into boxing out. I think this is a game where we don't see as many transition threes from Curry. This isn't a team where you want to start leaking out because if they get the offensive rebound, they got shooters. Beasley's a pretty good shooter. Dame can obviously hit. Um, yeah, you don't want to let them get second chance points, especially on the defensive side after getting a good stop, after forcing a miss. You don't want to have them get the O rebound and then get some free points.
Yeah.
Um,
Talking about Brandon Pajansky, he missed at least 3 game, or he missed last game, right?
but just yeah, he was out for the Celtics game.
Like glad that he's coming back because
Mhm.
he's like a rebound chaser,
Yeah,
and
he's a really good rebounder from the guard spot.
yeah, he gave effort on that stuff too, which
Yeah.
which will make it big today.
hmm I'm hoping the Warriors can keep this one close, and if they get a chance to blow it open, hopefully take advantage and in clutch time, be able to solidify our our defense in clutch time and get some points in clutch time.
Yeah.
Next game, so we play the Bulls on Friday. In this game, Bulls are been disappointing. Levine's not gonna be there, so. It's a home game. Hopefully the Warriors can take care of business.
hmm I think Warriors would be able to win by like at least like 8 point or above for this game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key to this game is just getting out early and then kind of cruising. Um, the Bulls, they've been a streaky team. Some young guys, Kobe White, DeMar's been decent. Vucevic is a rebound machine. So I think, not going down big because I think the Bulls can if the Bulls were to go up double digits early, I think the Bulls are a team that can control the pace and DeMar, Vucevic, they're both veteran guys who know how to slow it down and get the best looks.
Yeah.
And then the last games before next episode are the Spurs games. So we play the Spurs on a home and home with the day in between.
hmm
Young Spurs team, not a very good team, worse in the West. But with Wemby, you never know when the big game's going to be. You could pop off for huge games and maybe carry them to a win.
Yeah, like Spurs had a big win not too long ago against a good team. I forgot which team, but like they had a good win. And Victor
Yeah,
Wembanyama is also like looking very good.
yeah. But Wemby's been really good. He's progressed a lot, and I think he kind of ended the Rookie of the Year discussions.
Yeah.
It's Wemby, and then the rest of the field.
Wemby's a
Uh,
block machine.
yeah, and that's what kind of scares me. Like our team's super undersized, and
Mhm.
if you got a guy who can block the ball, we rely a lot on like layups and threes. So
Yeah.
if they take away the layups, chucking up threes, you don't want to chuck up threes. You only want to have like good looks.
hmm We're gonna
So
we're gonna need like good like game plan for this game to avoid
yeah,
Victor in the paint.
yeah, I think we should be able to pull both of them out, but I wouldn't be surprised if we lose one of them. Specifically the backside of it, like on seeing a team twice, the other team knows what you're gonna do, knows what your game plan is, and it's about like execution. And I'm not sure how much confidence I have in the execution, especially on that second game.
Yeah. Like that's my feeling too. I think we could like one of them and one of them are gonna be very close. Yeah.
Yeah. So this homestand, the 3 games at home, and then the game against the Spurs. I think getting 3 wins would be good, but I think it'd be a disappointment if we win the 3 at home, and then we lose the one in San Antonio.
Yeah.
4-0 is definitely possible, so look out for that over the next week. A
hmm
guy coming back in the next week is Andrew Wiggins. He was gone for personal matter, and news reports have been saying he's gonna be back pretty soon.
Yeah. That was very big missing Andrew Wiggins, even though Moses Moody had been stepping up very big for a spot.
Yeah, kind of going to that. We spoke last time about Moses Moody and his opportunities, and I think having opportunities, he's really shown that like he can be a valuable guy to this team. It's just about finding a spot for him. Um, as for Wiggs, you know, a defensive guy, he gives effort on the defensive end. You saw like in the 2022 season, he was our second best player. He was locking down the opposing team's best outside threat. And I think just having him back sooner rather than later is really going to help our team kind of reach our top potential. You know, we're at the 10 seed right now, and I think if we can just string together some wins, we can maybe make a push to getting out of the play-in or at least being the 7-8 game where you can lose a game and still have a
Yeah.
chance.
Yeah. W-
Some award
Having
discussions. Oh, you want to say something?
yeah, having Wiggins on the defensive side really could like help the defense and like
Yeah.
against like very good teams too.
hmm Getting into some award discussions. So Curry's been in discussions for his Clutch Player of the Year. Recently, FanDuel, I think, was the one that said Curry's the favorite to win Clutch Player of the Year. He's been
Yeah,
struggling
FanDuel, yeah.
recently. Yeah, he's been struggling recently, but he's still been really clutch, as shown in the Suns game when he hit the game winner. He's had multiple game winners this year. One against OKC, the one I remember in the play-in. How do you think Curry manages the second half of the year?
Oh, Curry's good, but Curry like definitely deserves it, but I think he should, like step up a little bit because he been cold. But what I said from the Bucks preview, I think Steph Curry's gonna have a very good game today.
Yeah, I think we need Curry to come back to being the clutch killer. Um,
Yeah,
recently, you
the
know, we've
night night
been
Curry.
yeah, recently we haven't had many like close games. They've all been like double-digit games, so we haven't really had any clutch time opportunities. But throughout this year, we've been pretty bad at clutch time. We've blown multiple leads in close games. We seem to always lose, and we need our clutch player of the year candidate back.
Yeah.
Another awards controversy. So recently, the NBA announced their February Rookies of the Month. So Wembanyama took it as he should. I don't have any disagreements there. But the nominees were Keontae George, Chet Holmgren, Amen Thompson, and Victor Wembanyama. And I think, you know, Pajemski in the month of February had a really good month. And I think he should have been in the discussions.
I think he was way better than Keontae George and also Amen Thompson.
Yeah, he averaged 10, almost 11 points, 5.6 assists, 6.7 rebounds, and almost a steal. I think those are numbers that at least should keep you in consideration. And you can see Pajemski believes that too in his tweet.
Yeah, probably he's probably like top three or definitely top five for rookies. I feel like. What do
hmm
you think?
I think, I mean, he should be top five, and
Yeah.
at least in the West, he should have been a nominee. I
hmm
think, like you said, I think he was over Amen. There's a discussion for Keontae. The Jazz been using him pretty well, and then I think Chet deserved to be a nominee. But
Yeah.
yeah, the James versus Amen is interesting discussion to have.
Yeah. Shet and Victor Wembanyama like definitely makes sense, but as Amen Thompson and Keontae George is questionable.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the last bit of Warriors news, Steph Curry announcing he's planning and expecting to have his fourth child. So I don't really have much to say. Congratulations to the Curry family, and I'm interested to see if, you know, we get the NBA lineage from Dell to Steph. You know, Cannon's looking like he might play some basketball, and maybe the fourth Curry.
Yeah. I hope or well, like congrats to like the Curry family and I just noticed that Curry has four ring and four babies now.
Yeah, well, you
One
know,
ring, one ring for one baby.
I wouldn't mind a fifth ring though.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, so that's the Warriors news we have. Is there anything else you wanted to get into? Um, talking about the Warriors, you know, we've been in the 9 seed, not much progress. I think we're the 10 seed now, but we're like flip-flopping with the Lakers. How do you feel about the
Yeah.
the race like coming down the wire now that like games are being serious? Every game you lose is much more like impactful.
I think Suns might fall down, to be honest.
Yeah, the Suns been struggling a little bit. Um,
Especially in the fourth quarter.
yeah,
Like did you watch the game yesterday?
no,
Or
last
not Warriors, the Nuggets against Suns.
no, but Suns were able to pull that one out, which I was hoping that they lose to the Nuggets.
Yeah. What or like KD was like 0 for 5 on fourth quarter and then make like a clutch like shot.
Yeah. So the Suns, they play the Celtics and the Cavs. Their next few games are the Raptors, Celtics at home, Cavs on the road, Celtics on the road, and then they play the Hornets and then the Bucks. So they're playing some good East teams.
Yeah, they might
Maybe
fall
some
down.
maybe some slip ups. So right now they're actually, I'll take a look. They are 3 games above the Warriors.
3 games. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Perfect.
Um, but they're in the 6th seed right now. So if they fall a little bit, the race might get tighter. The
Yeah,
Kings,
I
oh
see
yeah.
the I see the Suns losing to like at least 3 of those teams, maybe Bucks,
Hmm.
Celtics, and Caps for sure.
Yeah. So the Kings have an easier schedule. They got the Lakers, which is, an interesting game. Then they got
Yeah,
the
Lakers
Spurs
have
and
been playing.
Rockets. So those are a couple games that, they might be able to take. They play the Bucks and then the Lakers. So relatively easy. I wouldn't say it's a super hard schedule. So if the Suns were to fall, I think the Kings would slide right up into that 6th seed.
Yeah.
Mavericks, they got the Heat at home, the Pistons, which, and then they got the Bulls, and then they play the Warriors next week. So another team that has a relatively easy schedule, but their schedule over the back end does get a little bit interesting. They play a couple of harder teams, but the very end of the schedule is pretty easy.
Uh, wait, who does or who do we go against like for the final games?
So yeah, okay. Our end of the schedule is going to be the Jazz are our last game, the Pelicans are our second to last game, and the Blazers are our third to last game.
I think the Pelican game is gonna be like the game that chooses everything.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if the Pelicans kind of like lock up their spot because the Pelicans right now they're the 5 seed, a game above the Suns. So, if they were to win a couple more games and like get into like that solid 5 to 6 seed where they don't have to worry about the play-in, you wonder if they
Yeah.
rest their starters, especially with Zion's injury history. He's a player where you want to manage his risk. You don't want him to be too much workload on him.
Yeah, I think they'll rest Zion because of his injury like status or
Mhm.
like past
So the hardest games we have left, I'd say probably the Timberwolves. We play the Timberwolves in Minnesota.
at Minnesota.
At Minnesota, we get the
Yeah,
Pacers at home.
pace.
Obviously, the Bucks game
Hmm.
today,
Yeah,
and then we get the Knicks at home.
I think the Knicks are winnable.
Yeah, we're interested to see if Brunson comes back. Brunson's been injured. He's been missing a few more games. So if Brunson's back, it's interesting. If he's not, we got to take care of business.
Yeah. Do you go
And
against
then
Celtics one more time?
the Suns.
Celtics
Oh
or the
no, we
Suns?
don't play the Celtics anymore.
Okay.
We don't. So our April schedule is pretty light. A lot of the teams that we play against are in that like play-in mix. We got the Mavericks twice in April. We got the Pelicans, who are the 5 seed right now, and we got the Rockets and Jazz a few times. So, we gotta be able to like capitalize on the easy April schedule.
Like Jazz games and stuff.
Jazz and the
Is it
Trailblazers.
who's behind the Warriors right now? Isn't it like Jazz
The
or
Jazz are behind the Warriors, but they're behind by 5 games.
5 games?
So
That's
I think the 10 teams are going to be set: Minnesota, OKC, Denver, Clippers, Pelicans, Suns, Kings, Mavs, Lakers, Warriors. I think those are
yeah.
going to be the 10 teams, but you know, the 5 through 10 were all separated by 4 games. So, it sucks to be the back end of that, but it means everything's still possible.
Yeah. Who do you have winning the finals this year?
I mean, the Celtics have been unstoppable. I don't know how any team beats them in a 4-game series.
Mm. Or besides or Celtics for that side or for the Warriors side, who do you think like will
The
go
West, I
in
see I
the West?
see like either the Clippers or Minnesota making a run. Both teams have guys who've made the playoffs before, but also had like no like little success. The
Like
Clippers a
James
little bit, Yeah, Harden and Paul George,
Yeah.
both guys who, have playoff failures.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi's done it though, so you can never count him out. Whenever he's been healthy, he's been on a few finals teams.
Yeah, like the Raptors against the Warriors that year.
Yeah, and then the young Kawhi on Spurs.
Yeah.
Um, but you can never count out like this might be the year. Last year we saw the Heat make it from the play into the finals, and this year I might see that from the West. You got the
Yeah.
Lakers, LeBron. You can never count out LeBron. KD, Booker, and the Suns, once they get
Good
if they
duo.
get into it a little bit, they can, they might make a run.
Yeah.
The Kings after last year, they're older, they got experience now, they know what it takes. They barely lost in game 7, so you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Luka and Kyrie, you never know with those two guards. It's really hard to defend both of them.
The
Just to see.
the play-in tournament is gonna be very fun this year. Like a lot of great duos.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the NBA in creating a playing tournament, this is what they wanted,
Yeah.
especially on the West. The East is
Mhm.
a little different.
Wait, who's on the
Having
east side?
the East, they got Philly, Indy, Chicago, and Atlanta.
Chicago?
Yeah, it's a pretty weak East.
Oh, Philly's probably gonna win this, or
Atlanta
like
right now is in the play-in, and they're 7 games below 500. So the NBA is
that's
not very happy about that one.
yeah.
I think so. I saw this on Twitter the other day. Do you remember in the bubble when they said like if the 9 seed was within 4 games of the 8 seed, then the play-in tournament would hit. But if it wasn't, there would be no play-in tournament. Do you remember this?
A little bit?
Yeah. So in the bubble, they were talking about how if the 9 seed was within 4 games, I believe, then they'd have a little playing game just because of the bubble and like the conditions about that. I think
Yeah.
they should bring that back. I don't think the Bulls. I mean, no offense, but I think the Bulls like they don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Is Zach Levine coming back for
No,
playoff?
he's out for the year.
Yeah, both definitely shouldn't make it then. I was about to say if Zach Levine was in, I'll get, a little bit better, but
Yeah, I just don't think the like if you're below 500, especially like being 3 games and 7 games, the Hawks
yeah.
like I don't think they deserve, especially like they get to play for an opportunity to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Philly without Joel, you don't know. Joel, we don't know if he's coming back or not. I just think like it's really tough for Philly to have to play a Bulls team, for example, and like
Yeah.
lose a playoff spot just because, you know, they're the 7 seed and they don't have their star player.
Yeah. Well, for the Sixers, they've been playing good without Joel Embiid too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like Terry Maxey looks very good right now.
Yeah. Hopefully the Warriors can take advantage of this end of the schedule and make a run. How much
Yeah.
confidence you have if they fall like if they end up being like the 9 seed? How much confidence do you have in them making the playoffs?
If they're the ninth seed, who do we go against?
Let's just say this hypothetical we go against like the Lakers, who are the 10 seed.
Lakers?
Yeah, and
I think.
then let's just say the season ended today, right?
Okay.
So we play the Lakers in
Mm-hmm.
LA in the
Yeah.
first playing game. If we win it, then we play the loser of Sacramento, Dallas.
Sacramento, Dallas.
So we might have to go to Sacramento, might have to go to Dallas.
I think
We kind of
we could be LA, but the second game would be hard.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this last episode. Um, I don't feel confident in the Warriors making the playoffs if we're not the 7 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Being the 7 seed, getting that home game, it makes me confident that we can win that first home game. Eight
Yeah.
seed, I don't know. I mean, going away and then if we lose, we get the home game, but I don't want to like put it in the one game against LeBron, against Luka, against De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. I just don't like having that game with having that game like in the balance of one game
Yeah.
and having like 2 games of those. I don't think the Warriors pull 2 games out.
Yeah. I don't if the Warriors go to the play-in, I don't feel that confident because that time when we went against LA.
Yeah. Um, do you think the Warriors, if they were to miss the playoffs, do you think they should break up the core?
I think we should try getting LeBron or
But
like
we know LeBron's not leaving. So like, do you think we
a
should break up
big
the
name.
core?
What?
Do you think we should break up the core? We don't have money for a big name.
No, I don't think we should. Maybe Clay, but
Well, I mean, Clay would be the free agent. Do you think we should bring him back if we don't make the playoffs?
probably not. We'll
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like I'm kind of like split because on the one hand, I think Clay should be like a lifetime warrior.
yeah.
But I mean, if Clay takes a pay cut, then yeah, bring him back. Him off the bench, he's been pretty good. I like having him being like the shooter, the green light. Just let him like try to get as hot as possible off the bench.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't like. I mean, Curry's still so good, and wasting his like tail end of his career just because we want to keep like an old core. I don't really like. I don't know if that like that's not the way to go.
Yeah. Clay had been hot, but yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, I think, if we were to lose in the first game, if we're the 10th seed, we lose in the first game, I think management's got some decisions to make,
Yeah.
especially because like there's no like disgruntled stars right now. Last year, you had the Nets, Kyrie and KD who were unhappy. The years before that, Harden was unhappy with the Nets. Harden was unhappy with the Rockets. Westbrook
Yeah.
was a guy who's like out there. But now there's no like everybody's like all pretty happy. There's no like guy who's on a team that like who's gonna be unhappy.
Hmm.
So I don't really see how we make a move, who we're gonna go and get.
Do the Warriors have like a lot of cap space?
No, they have no cap space.
Yeah, I don't. If we lose in the first round, I don't see us bringing back Clay
Hmm.
unless.
And I mean, there's nobody out there that's like Zach Levine. Is he a guy who you trade for? I don't think so.
Yeah.
And
Who do
like,
we
who
have to
else?
cut? Who do we have to cut to get Clay Thompson or
We
Chet
don't have to
Owen?
cut anybody. Like, I mean, we can bring back Clay, but we don't have room to bring anyone else in.
Yeah, that's a big risk.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, like, it's not about like whether or not like we can get someone else in. It's more like, is Clay helping the team win? And if he's not, then like you don't want him on the team.
And if he
And
does help our team, we should keep him.
yeah, but is it enough to like pay him like the money where he kind of locks us? Because I mean, Clay's a guy you don't trade if you bring him back, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have that money to trade. It's not like you're bringing someone like Jordan Poole. We signed him, but we are still like willing to trade him.
Hmm.
Clay's not a guy you bring back to trade. He's a guy you bring back to keep as a warrior for life.
Yeah.
And it's like, is Clay like enough of a guy to where we bring him back, lock the team pretty much? Or is he a guy where, you let him go, give yourself more flexibility. You have Chris Paul's contract, you have young guys in Kuminga and Moody, you know, where you rebuild the team a little bit, maybe not rebuild, retool it.
I like retooling it if we don't go far.
Yeah, I don't think you rebuild with Curry, but retooling it, bringing in somebody who, maybe a bigger inside presence.
Yeah, I like our or our young future player like Pajensky, Kaminga, Moses Moody, Jackson Davis.
Do you think they should keep the two timelines? Because I think they're still doing that, where like they're trying to like win now, but also win later. Or do you think you should blow it up? Get like give up Kuminga, get a start, get Donovan Mitchell, get who else? Get Joel maybe if Joel's unhappy. Get I don't know if but Giannis had got Dame, so I don't think Giannis is gonna be a guy. Get Zion. You want Zion? Give up Chris Paul, Kuminga for Zion, and maybe and like another piece.
I probably wouldn't do that. That would only last for like 2 years or so.
I mean, I think it'd be longer than that. Zion's still young,
Yeah, I guess. But
and like
who
he plays so well off Steph.
if Curry retires, who's gonna help Zion Williamson?
I mean, you'd still have part of the young core. I feel like Kuminga and Zion have a similar play style where they're both going downhill trying to finish at the rim, right?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think, I mean, you'd still have imagine Pajemski and Zion like 5 years down the line. This is like crazy hypothetical, but imagine like Zion in his like 30s where he's still like a big like inside threat, and you got Pajemski in the outside playing that like Steph Clay kind of mold. I mean,
I'd
that's not something I'm like too against. I like that.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Pajensky yeah, I'd be okay with
But I
that.
just don't think there's like enough guys in the free agent market and the trade market for us to make a move.
Or who would be a free agent this year?
I can take a look at that real quick, but I know there's not any big names. Um, so from what we know, we have Tyrese Maxey, but I think he's a restricted free agent, so he's probably going back to Philly.
Hmm.
PG's a free agent, but we're not gonna have the money to go after PG.
Yeah,
LeBron has a player option. PG
maybe
has a
we.
player option too, but LeBron has a player option, but he's gonna take that. There's no way he doesn't take the player option in LA.
I hope we somehow make a big move for LeBron though.
Well, for LeBron, we'd have to give up like Draymond, or I mean, if he wants to play with Draymond, we have to give up Kuminga, Moody, Chris Paul, and like Pajemski, and like 3 first round picks. Like, would you be really willing to give up like all in the future for 2 years of LeBron?
Probably not, but I just want to see LeBron, Draymond, and Steph play all together.
Yeah. Pascal's a free agent, but I think he's gonna go back to Indiana. He likes Indiana.
Yeah.
OG Anunoby has a player option. Um, but again, he's a guy who fits into his system in New York so well.
Hmm.
Thibodeau being a defensive coach, OG being like a lockdown defender. I think that's a match made in heaven. I don't see how he leaves.
Yeah.
Harden's a free agent, but do we want Harden?
I don't think so.
Right? DeMar's a free agent.
Maybe DeMar.
Yeah, but there's no spacing. Like, where does he come in? Would you like is there's a lineup of Steph, uh, I guess Steph, Pajemski, DeMar, Draymond, and Kuminga? Is that what you would do? Move Wiggins to the bench?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd rather have Clay off the bench than Wiggins.
Yeah.
Tobias Harris, but Tobias Harris is going to want money. I mean, the Warriors don't have money.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday has a player option, but again, he's
He will
not
probably
leaving.
want money. Yeah.
He's not leaving. Boston's so good. Miles Bridges,
Wouldn't he want money?
yeah, he'd want money. Claxton's a guy. I mean, do you
Claxton?
do you Simon trade for Claxton?
I'd be okay with
Trade
Claxton. So, or
Claxton's interesting. Trade Moody to Brooklyn, let him get a fresh start, give him another one of the wings. I mean, just let
I'd be,
Brooklyn stack up on the
I'd be
wings.
okay with that. Claxton as a rebounder for our team and a big
Would you
man.
do Moody and a first round pick for Claxton?
If if that was the offer right now, I'll probably take it. Yeah.
Let me see if that trade makes sense. I think the money might not match up. So Claxton's making 9 million a year right now.
Wait, how much is he making?
Claxton's making 9 million.
Okay.
Moody's making 3 or 4 mil. So you'd have to trade him. You'd probably have to trade Looney. And then let's see. And then so for Claxton, like if Claxton makes, let's just say he gets like a $15 million contract, which is like a good estimate.
Yeah.
It'd be Kevon Looney, Moses Moody, and let's see.
One like a draft pick.
Well, yeah, I think we'd have to give up a draft pick, but we'd also have to give up somebody making a lower contract. Is Dario gonna be able to be there?
I don't think so.
So Dario won't be able to be there. I mean, I don't know how like we'll have to see in the offseason how like the trade market works out, but Claxton be a guy I'm interested in getting.
Yeah, same here. I like Claxton.
Yeah. Let's see, is there anyone else who's interesting? Quickly as a restricted free agent. Bring back D'Angelo Russell, Malik Monk.
I would have loved those two, D'Lo and Malik Monk.
I don't know how D'Lo fits into our like team though. He's basically Clay,
He's probably just let Clay go and sign D'Lo. To be
but
honest,
like, is it worth it?
D'Lo been very hot this year, so
I mean, okay, he's averaging 17 right now, but would you trade that in for the like the lack of defense?
lack of defense.
Because D'Lo doesn't play any defense. He's a pure bucket getter. Clay, at least he'll sit in the chair, defend a few possessions.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably like D'Lo better. Or who's
Clay,
younger?
D'Lo's younger,
Probably take D'Lo.
but Clay's averaging 17, 3, and 2 right now, shooting 42% from the field, 37 from three,
42.
42 from the field, 37 from three.
Very sad. What
D'Lo's
about
averaging
D'Lo?
17, 2, and 6, shooting 46 from the field, 41 from the three.
I don't know. D'Lo been very like caught. Like if he's a shooter, like he makes at least like
Yeah.
five.
Bringing him back, but I mean, at that point, it's like I don't see, is that an upgrade over Clay?
For offense, yeah. I
But
feel
for
like
like for the team, does that help? Like having him and Chris Paul on the bench, is that gonna work?
having D'Lo and bench.
Unless you bring Pajemski off the bench.
No idea.
Yeah. I mean, a guy like Valanciunas, if he's willing to take the minimum, sure, he'll come on. He'll be a good guy. But I don't know, like he's not
We
a
need a
guy
big
where
man.
we do need a big man. And man, I wish we hit on James Wiseman, but we need a big man.
How's
Hopefully
James Wiseman doing on
he's hasn't been doing anything.
or who did the worst take him instead of James Wiseman?
LaMelo. We took Wiseman instead of LaMelo
Imagine LaMelo and Steph
or
took.
Tyrese.
I would like Tyrese. I would love Tyrese.
Yeah. Tyrese fits in this offense perfectly. He's a big guard. I mean, he's an amazing passer. Imagine like Tyrese, run that Indiana offense here in Golden State. That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Imagine Tyrese, Draymond, Steph. Oh my God, that would be so good.
Wiggins and Kuminga. That'd be high flying. You got the playmakers in Draymond and Tyrese. You
Ah,
get some lob threats in Wiggins and Kuminga.
that
You
was a big
got
miss.
you got like a shooter, like the ultimate shooter in Steph and Clay off the bench. Like your backup lineup literally could be like Tyrese, Clay, and then like GP2 and like a couple other guys. Man, that
Yeah.
was just tough miss. But at the time, it made sense. We need a big man. Wiseman was like a good big man.
Mhm.
Just didn't work out, I guess.
I'm just wondering about who did we take instead of Kuminga and Moses Moody that year? Or like who was
Uh,
on the draft class?
so the 2021 NBA draft, we got. So this was Cadenham.
Cade?
Cadenham. So Cade was first. So we got Kuminga instead of Franz Wagner. Not too disappointed in that. Davion Mitchell, James Bouknight, or okay, here it goes. It went Kuminga at 7,
Okay.
Franz at 8, Davion Mitchell at 9, Zaire Williams, who got traded to the Grizzlies at 10, James
Zion
Bouknight,
Williamson?
no, Zaire Williams,
Oh, I was gonna say.
uh, James Bouknight at 11, and Josh Primo at 12, and then Chris Duarte at 13. So I didn't
Uh,
see we didn't miss too much there.
yeah.
Moses Moody. So there was Corey Kispert. Alperen Sengun was a miss, but at the time, like he was a flyer. Trey Murphy, another guy who could have been drafted. Trey Man, Kai Jones, Jalen Johnson.
Oh,
He's
Jalen
he's a
Johnson.
guy who we could have maybe helped, but I think Moses has been good. I don't think he's
Yeah.
that much of a miss, especially with the guys around him. This wasn't
Yeah.
that strong of draft class at the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We didn't miss much, I guess.
yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching Bay Area Breakdown. We'll be back next week to talk about the games and talk about other Warriors news that comes up. See ya.
Like, like and subscribe.